we've got several of them in town that we can go and turn them a little bit and move them a little bit, and they'll stop leaking, and usually takes a little bit, but yeah. If it doesn't, then we'll dig it up and take our chances and hope nothing goes wrong. Kerry had one happen to him in a hole. Bolt broke.
Well, that makes your morning, or
Nobody's at the door.
easy.
I better check the doors, make sure the security's tight. Yep, things locked down.
Oh, everybody's here today.
Come on, Brad. Good morning.
Morning, Steve. Please.
I guess we should start a meeting. I'd like to call this meeting of the City of Washington Board of Public Works, Tuesday, November 25th to order. Roll call, please.
John Vittmer,
Here.
Brad Mitchell,
Here.
Mike Radetick,
Here.
Steve Struber,
Here.
Al Barr,
Here.
Joe Holtmeyer,
Here.
and Austin Horskamp.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
First order of business, the minutes. Has everybody reviewed them? Questions, comments, changes? Motion.
Motion.
We have a motion
Second.
and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Minutes approved. Thank you.
And about the minutes, I'll jump in real quick on that one, John, if you
You
don't
want
mind.
to say that?
Yes, yes. We have the ability with our minutes recording software called Scribe to shorten the minutes to about 2 pages. It will take all the information and put it into like a nice format of the most important information. We will always have a full set of minutes if anybody wanted to review them, but for the packet and for the meetings, we'd like to reduce them down. So what I'd like to do is, I'll have Teresa get that generated. She already has a copy. I just didn't want to put it in the packet. And then we'll send it out to you guys just as a review. See if you are comfortable with them, because you have this month's minutes also. See if you're comfortable with them. If you are, then we can start proceeding with doing that. They won't be verbatim, and I don't think we have to do verbatim. We stopped that many years ago. We've just been doing it verbatim just because the program did it. So I'd like to do that and see how it works, and we'll see what next month brings. How about that?
Sounds good.
Okay, all right.
Sounds like a plan. All right, Kevin, you're still on. Anything pop up in priority?
No,
Okay, we have wastewater. We got 2 things going on in
yes,
wastewater.
2 things going on.
Well, 3 things, 2 pumps and a trailer.
Yeah, so the pumps are the pumps in an influent wet well down at the treatment plant. We already have replaced 2 of them. We did that in last year's budget. This year's budget, this is to finalize that and replace the last 2 in the wet well. And we'll be back to original design build of the plant. So they lasted 16 years.
Okay, that's my question.
Yeah, and what it is the pumps, we've always had to do some work with them, but that's just submersible pumps moving sewage. But what has happened is the concrete at the base, where the bases sit, has finally wore out from the vibration. The tubing going up has wore out, so we got to get all that replaced. Yeah, so it's just if we don't, one of them could literally fall apart, and then we'd have a big mess. So this just finalizes that project at the influent wet well.
How long does that process take?
It usually takes about a week and a half, but we have two cells in the influence, so we can shut one down and pump through the other one.
Gotcha.
So that's how we're doing. That's how we did the first one, was we ran it through the second cell, and then we'll just switch over to the first cell and do that, so. But it usually takes them, I think they bring like 3 trucks and 5 guys or something like that, and they knock it out pretty quick, so.
Okay. Any other discussion?
No,
I'm sorry?
I move that we go ahead and repair those pumps.
Okay. Any other comments or a second?
Second.
Got a second?
Second, yes.
All, second, yes. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, motion carries. We will send that on to council for approval and get those pumps repaired. That was easy. All right, now you want a trailer.
Yes, so.
Last month, we got you an excavator. Now this month, you want to haul it around town.
We gotta be able to move it, yes. We planned this, we actually, it's in the budget, we knew we was gonna have to. However, it took us a little bit longer to get bids on it, so, yeah, so you can see we went out for 3 bids. Ironically, Bobcat of St. Louis, which is the ones that we bought the excavator from, are the lowest bid. It only makes sense to buy a trailer for the piece of equipment that we purchased anyway, but anyway, so I'm really just asking for your approval to, move forward with this, to, get it on order and get it here.
So moved.
Will have room for implements on it?
Yeah, it will, but the mini's the heaviest mini they make anyway, so it's pretty heavy. And we're gonna be using our 1.5-ton truck to pull it, so if we have any other implements, we can always just set them in the bed of the 1.5 ton and move it out, so that, I wasn't too worried about that, but,
Is that a gooseneck or a normal hitch?
no, it'd be a normal one, yeah.
Any other comments? We've got a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second. All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. $16,200 for a trailer. We will send that on to council. All right. Anything else on wastewater, Kelvin?
No, everything's going pretty good. TJ's here with Cochran. We are not giving the update yet, but if you have any questions for me, I'm sure he wouldn't mind coming up and talking about the Front Street project we're working on.
Yeah.
They're working out, we will have a report for next month's meeting for that, to kind of come up with some kind of a thought on what the process could be. Anyway, that's that. Gonna be meeting with TJ down there to do some more evaluation this morning, on it. So that's moving forward. Our slip lining's all done, down there. Haven't had any issues, so you never know if it's, we assume it's working. It's gotta be working. We haven't had any rain.
Odors lately.
Well, we changed our pumping schemes out in the system to try and help with that. So the normal standard operation of a lift station is you let sewage sit in the wet well to cover the pumps. And that is to help keep the pumps cool. Well, anytime that you have sewage, you're holding sewage, you're taking a possibility of generating an odor. On our system, because of the size of the wet wells, when we do that, we was always keeping some sewage in the sewer lines upstream. It's kind of a help of retention type of situation. And I think what was happening, and we talked about it, Carrie and I did, we think what was happening was that we were holding sewage back and it was becoming septic. And it was coming through, it was staying under the water because it was going right to the pumps. It was being sent through the lift station, and then, of course, down on Front Street, the only place that it could air out was at Stafford Street. So when it would get there, it would then aspirate and create the odor down on Front Street. We've had the pumps changed down there for about a month now on West End, and I drive down there, I try to get down there 2 or 3 days a week just to try and see if I can smell anything. I don't smell anything down there anymore. So we think that's possibly helping. Now, my motto is all actions create a reaction.
Yeah.
The reaction to this could be that because we're not keeping the liquid over the pumps, we could overheat them. Now, these are flight pumps. They're water cooled, so they're what they call dry run submersibles, so they can run in the dry. We're gonna see how well that works out. That's really the only way to get rid of an odor. We try masking it, we try adding perfume to it, we try everything, but it really never works. The best way to get rid of an odor with sewer is to move it.
Yeah.
So that's what we're doing. And
Makes sense.
we've done it with every lift station heading west. So ME Frike, we're doing the same thing up there, running it sewage in, sewage out, and they call it flow matching. West Link, we was getting some odors down there, so we're doing the same thing with that, and West End. Walnut Street we can't do because it's a dry submersible station. It's a wet well with pumps on the outside. While we're talking about all this stuff on Front Street, TJ doesn't know it yet, I'm gonna possibly look at converting that station over to a submersible run station where we could do the same thing with that station, flow match, sewage out, sewage in, sewage out, which would help the odor, because now we have odor down at Walnut Street. So you just keep moving is what we're doing, we're moving it. So anyway, so that's what we've done out in the system to try and alleviate and hopefully help some of that odor down at the restaurants down on Front Street, and all the residents too, anybody that, you know, I mean, it's not just the restaurants, it's everybody, but, yeah, so,
You'll be able to write a book on this.
I'm not gonna write a book on it.
Put it on
I'm gonna keep
podcast.
on working, I'm gonna work my way through, I'm gonna retire, and then I'm gonna go
Nobody's buy
travel.
it.
I don't think it'll be a bestseller.
I'm gonna retire, so at some point in time. I don't know when yet, but at some point in time.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
I mean, we got a plan. That's the best part.
That's the thing, and I always say, we're always trying to fix the problem, we always are.
Yeah.
It's like on the water side, we might as well move to that now, well, if you wanna ask if we can, anyway. We're doing the same thing on the water side because we have to chlorinate. We will always chlorinate, we're never getting away from chlorination. So we're trying to figure out the best way to chlorinate, that's the safest, the most economical, and in the best interest of the residents. So the way we had been injecting our chlorine was with these pumps. You set a pump on top of a tank, you draw the chlorine out of it, it's a pressure pump that pressurizes and goes and sends it to the chlorinator, the quill is what they call it. We have since, because I'm an odd guy and I like to try odd things, we're the only community that's doing it, we have went to vacuum injection. Meaning what we're doing now is we put a booster pump in that pumps water out of the system through an injector ventura back into the system, and we vacuum pull the chlorine out of the tank into the injector, which then chlorinates the system. It's a work in progress. We're working on it. We'll keep on working on it, but the goal is to have the safest well buildings for the guys to walk into. You should see my guys' clothes. Their pants are white and dotted and wearing out, their shirts because of chlorine. On the pressure side, if you get a little pinhole, you can't see the chlorine. You can smell it, but you don't know where it's at, and you walk right through it. Walk right through a spray. A couple guys have been hit in the face with it, so
That's not so good.
it's not good. That's not good. Now, you can put a safety suit on and all that other stuff, but that costs money, and anyway, so. My point is, we always try. We're always working on and trying to improve everything we can for the system and for the residents. We try to do our best, so,
So every well has this injector,
yes.
but it all goes into the common supply. So if you take a well down for this maintenance or whatever, it really doesn't affect the
No.
whole system because you still have chlorine.
Yeah, we're considered what they call a loop system, meaning 95% of our system is looped within itself, meaning that all the lines are tied together. That helped us when we had to chlorinate, actually, but that also hurts us. But in that fact, yes, if well 4 goes down, we've got well 6 and well 8 and well 10 on the east end pumping in and helping keep that supply. They all go to the water towers, so everything's focusing towards the water towers, so, yeah.
On this vacuum system, does the concentration of chlorine that you need to satisfy the EPA, I mean, did you have to adjust that or anything?
Yeah, we had to reduce it, so we was putting in 12% chlorine, which is the strongest that can be delivered without having special license and stuff. We have since, with this injection system, reduced it down to 6%.
Okay.
So, it takes a little bit of adjusting to get the right
Concentration.
residual out in the system. We've got to keep 0.2 out in the system by state law, by regulation. So it's taken a little bit of adjusting on that, so we're in the process. So some people may notice at times that they think they smell and taste a whole bunch of chlorine. It's just the opposite. We're not putting enough in the system, and it's a reaction from lack of chlorine and not over chlorination.
Okay.
So, but yeah, so Anybody ever says, well, they're putting, Washington's putting tons of chlorine in. Well, no, we're not. That probably, the area just happens to be low on residual, which will then generate a smell of chlorine, which then transfers into a taste of chlorine. Yeah. Way too much information.
Good information. Anything else going on?
Well, we're gonna be trying to put a water line on Hickory Street, down Hickory Street off of Fifth, from Fifth Street down to Seventh Street, and Seventh Street to Burnside. And, that's in the plans. We already got it saw cut, ready to go. It's just making sure we have enough employees. A lot of employees are getting sick here lately, but that just happens. It's that time of year, So we've got that. We need to put a sewer line in over on, Fair Street to pick up some houses that share a 4-inch service lateral that causes all kinds of problems for the residents, so we're gonna do that for that area. Water tower, the tanks, they're still patchy. They'll be patchy until spring, because you can't do anything with them now. Tanemi came out, last week, and they put 2 different types of paint that they're trying, testing on the tanks, the new stuff they're trying to put out for tanks. Figured we could be the guinea pig, because we got spots that need some paint on it, and there's nothing that can really be done. So they put one type of paint on, they're trying to make it a, insulator type of a paint, which would help keep, tanks from getting over cold. I don't think that's gonna fly, because that doesn't look good at all, and it's not gonna be able to be sold unless they do a whole bunch of improving. But they put another type on that is a, moisture reducing paint. So what it's designed to do is not let the tank sweat as much, which if it doesn't sweat, then you don't get the mold buildup on the sides of the tank, because that's what generates the mold, is the sweating and the sun and everything. So they've got that on the tank, trying to see if that works. And if that holds over the winter, they know it works during the summer. They're just not sure what it does in the winter, because they haven't had anywhere to test it in this kind of conditions. So if that's the case, that's probably what we'll try on the recoats of those 2 tanks to see how they do. Warranties will be the same, so if something would fail, they'd come back and redo it to nothing, but we'll get into that once everything gets moving on, but. So that's where we're at on the water towers.
When they figure out exactly what we're gonna do, does those spots need to be sandblasted again?
Well, they won't be sandblasted. The zinc coating underneath of them is good and solid.
Okay.
So that's not a problem. Zinc coating, primer coating has been used forever in the tank industry, so that's not the issue. It's whatever happened in between the bonding of the coat of paint to the zinc at the time of painting is what caused the problem. Now, nobody can figure it out. There's a lot, of course, there's fingers being pointed. It was the tank painting company, it was the paint manufacturer, everybody's pointing fingers. But the good thing is Tanemic is not, understands that, and they're a really good company, so that's why we use them. They know that the city has no responsibility in this. So it's all gonna be covered. We won't pay a thing for it, which we shouldn't anyway, even though, the problem is we're out of the installer warranty. And that's kind of the thing, because that only lasts a year, so we're a year and a half and 2 years in, so. But they're working with Worldwide, the paint the installers. They were sold by another company. The other company understands that this the new buyers understand this does not look good for them. So they're working to try and figure some kind of plan out, which is good. Either way, somebody has to paint it. So if it's Worldwide and they come back in and try and fix whatever happened, great. It doesn't matter to me. We'll still have the warranty and everything. So it's.
Did this happen to both of the tanks we had painted?
Both of the tanks, both of them pretty much on the same sides, the south side of the tanks.
Do they have any other history within the tanks that were painted that year?
Nope.
Just ours?
The Tanemic group that I've been working with have almost every one of them been there over 30 years, and the Tanemic company have not seen this happen. They've seen peeling that they could tell what caused the problem. They've not seen this happen. They have no idea. Nobody's ever seen this happen. 2 tanks painted 2 different seasons and on the same side.
Uh-huh.
So it's unique. Leave it to Washington to be unique, but anyway, yeah. Yeah, so they're standing behind their paint. It's just a matter of, but I kind of like the idea of trying different paint, because if somebody doesn't try it, who tries it? We've got a spot to try it at, so why not try it? And if the paint that they have that actually keeps the moisture down, that just benefits us and everybody else, because our paints won't get the black streaks in them as bad and all the other stuff, but
Okay.
that's where we're at on that. I think.
Any other comments from the floor, questions? Mayor Doug, anything for us? No?
Well, I keep getting questions about stinky on Front Street, so explanation was,
Do you know, is it still happening, or?
I don't think so.
I walk down Front Street 3 times a week, and I haven't noticed it lately.
Oh, that's good.
Like I said, we will notice it down on Walnut Street, because that's where everything ends up before it gets moved, and that we cannot flow through the way we would do with our submersibles, because that's not designed to do that. That station's not designed to do that, so.
Right.
But if we do some, modification, and we're gonna have to do some modification down there anyway, no matter what, something has to happen there. If that's part of the package when we do that, that just benefits the whole as it is anyway, so we'll address that when it comes.
Kevin, that's gonna happen before we, curb and gutter and everything else on Front Street and make it look like Third Street.
Whatever we do on Front Street won't be done, there won't be hardly, I don't think there'll be anything done on Front Street itself. Everything will be from Walnut Street east. So if we do any kind of retention, it'll have to be at the station, because there was one council member said, well, let's just line Front Street with a big retention basin. Well, you can't do that, it has to be attached to the station per regulation. So anything that happens there has to be done at the station. So if we was to make a bigger retention basin at the station, it would have to be out in the parking lot. So if something happens, we did that, then the parking lot would be disturbed and we'd have to do something there. And then the other thing that I think we're probably gonna be seeing is that, we may need to upsize the size of the pumps maybe, or one pump, but more than likely, my gut tells me this, and I've seen it so much, is that our force main's gonna have to be upsized if we wanna move any more sewage. It's just the way, you can only get so much through a certain size pipe. You're not gonna get any more. It's, no matter what size pumps you put out there, you could put 300 horsepower pumps pumping 9,000 gallons a minute. You're still only gonna get whatever that size pipe will allow you to send, so. So, that's the stuff that thankfully Cochrane's helping us on, and they have a lot of experience in this kind of stuff, so I trust them. We're gonna get some good answers. What path we go is just a decision we're gonna have to make at that point in time, so.
When will that be ready?
We're gonna have it ready for the December meeting for the Board of Public Works. And then after that, if it's something, then we'll have to have another meeting to discuss what the options are. I mean, we won't be able to make that decision, at the end of that meeting. We'll have to have, of course, other meetings, to figure out what we think our best plan is, so. Then you gotta budget it. That's the other thing. What's the dollar amount gonna be? That's what we gotta look at too, so. We're early on, we promised that we would try and get a report together by the end of the year. That's what we're shooting for. We'll have a report, and then we'll have to reconvene after that and say, okay, what's the best option and what's it gonna cost? We'll have, I think Cochrane will have some preliminary numbers, some estimated numbers of what it would cost, but, when it comes to the nuts and bolts of it, we'll have to actually go out and see what is this gonna cost.
So is this obviously, I'm assuming we don't have a number, so it's not budgeted for 26, so this is a 2027 project?
Would not happen before 27, yeah. And depending on what it costs, it may be in stages, and it may be 27, 28, 29, 30. I don't know. We could throw numbers at the wall and hope they stick, but I'm not gonna do that, so.
All right. With nothing else, our next meeting is scheduled for December 23rd. I'll take a motion to adjourn.
Before so, we have this list, which I have some changes for you, but
Yeah, we gotta make
Give
sure.
this
I'm
to
going to
Teresa.
pick
You got
those
any
up.
changes on this?
That's what I needed was changes, I'm sorry.
yeah, but I'm looking at, it says consists of 4 members, which we have 4, but I see a vacant at the top and 2 vacants at the bottom. How many open seats do we have on this right now? And should we be shopping?
I think we have none on this side, and I think,
Yeah.
don't we have
That's-
two,
okay.
two more on
advisory.
the, two more
Yeah.
advisory?
So, okay.
That would get us up.
So if anybody has a suggestion of anybody that they think would fit the board, give them to the mayor. And then he can contact them and see if they want to be part of the Board of Public Works. And then bring them on. But yeah, any suggestion has to go to the mayor, and then the mayor goes from that point and reaches out to them. But yeah, so if anybody's got anybody that Austin, you got anybody's got anybody that they think would be a good fit? By all means.
Sell them on the excitement of the board.
Right. The longest meeting in the world.
With the most important business, that's right.
It is very important.
All right, with that, let's see, did anybody make a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Moved?
Second.
Second? All in favor?
Aye.
Meeting adjourned, thank you.
Thank you. Well, everybody have a good Thanksgiving.
Sure.
Yes.
Good Thanksgiving. Austin, before you leave, I want to talk to you.
You going anywhere?
Kevin, when was the treatment plant completed?